What's up, guys? Happy Rabbit Productions. We started a podcast, so we got the crew here. Introduce yourselves.
My name is Alex. I'm super new to the team here, but I'm super excited to be a part of it. Haven't really had too much experience in film, but I'm super excited to learn it with these guys.
He's here for the ride, guys.
For the
He's here to
ride.
have a good time.
I'm here for the long haul.
You know me. I'm
Ride
Scooter. You've been following the channel for years. We're switching it up. We are now Happy Rabbit Productions. We got a team, we got a squad, we got a crew, and we're doing podcasts. So that's me.
I'm Charles, also known as C4, and I don't know what do I do? I do stuff.
Charles is
we make movies.
Charles is my partner with Happy Rabbit Productions.
Yeah.
And we wanted to take it to the next level. So
So here we are. I'm a cinematographer and a Steadicam operator, Area Trinity operator. I've been making movies for I'm not gonna say how long because that would make me way older than everybody else that I'm sitting next to. Yeah,
You'll
IMDb
probably
me,
find
bro.
out. You'll find out at some point.
We'll slip his age.
I'm Evan. I am a camera AC and a wannabe operator and editor.
You operate? Shut the hell up.
I work in film too. I met Scooter in film. We met a year ago, working on a Netflix movie. Yeah. And then through him met Charles, and so we've kind of known each other for a little bit. And yeah, brought Alex in, and yeah.
Evan's a homie. So Evan actually lives at the Happy Rabbit Productions house as well.
Hiding in the other room.
So yeah, he lives on the other side of the house, and this is the studio. So welcome. We're just gonna chat about whatever and anything that comes to mind, mostly about film and really just anything and everything. This is an open-minded podcast. Anyone talks about anything. There's no judgment here. By all means, say whatever you want. Have fun.
Sounds like it.
Word.
Yeah, Charles, getting started
We
in...
didn't introduce that.
Yeah,
guy.
what about Tyson?
shit.
We do have one other person in our crew that we literally just forgot to introduce in our introduction video. Tyson, everybody.
Tyson's a behind the scenes guy. I'm gonna make him come over here and pop his head in real quick so everybody
Jump
can see
in
him.
here.
He needs his
Introduction.
5 minutes of fame.
Just say hi. You know.
Hello, my name is Tyson. I've been working in marketing and video editing for about 4 years now. What else?
He's a genius at what he does, and we had to get him on the team, people. We literally said, move back to Utah and work with us. No one's from Kansas. So we said, get back to Utah, and he's here. He moved here. You moved to Utah, and we're doing it.
Dude is 21 and designs
Where's
his
your-
own furniture too.
Yeah, and where are you living at, though? He's in, so
Do you want to say that? I don't know if you want to say that.
maybe not.
Yeah.
I do not live in.
Give him your address. Tell him your social
My
security.
social security number is.
Maybe they'll track him down. Maybe he'll have fans outside his door. That'd be sweet. Next thing you know, he's
That'd be cool.
next.
Giving out personal information to tempt them.
Yeah. So that's Tyson. You'll see him. He's editing. He's behind the lens.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll have a camera on him so he can be jumping in here and whatnot. But yeah, so film production and Happy Rabbit Productions.
Why don't we start? Where did Happy Rabbit come from?
Happy Rabbit is a name that I've always had in my back pocket. I've always thought it'd be cool. I think I was seeing a construction company and I saw their logo and it was like an animal and then like kind of a reference to that animal or like something around that, like concrete. It was like horse concrete or iron horse concrete. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty sweet. And I just kept like going down that trail and putting names together. And then one day I landed on like Happy Rabbit Productions. Like, who doesn't like happy rabbits jumping around? And then Productions. And it just kind of stuck and worked. I don't
Because
know.
I'm not gonna lie, like my brain went straight to freaking Playboy.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't even take it that way. But that's actually kind of cool.
Is Playboy even around still? I don't even know.
Didn't you?
I think it's an older
he said-
generation
Hugh
thing.
Hugh Hefner
Magazines.
passed away,
Yeah.
but
It's still
one of
female.
his
Is it? I
one of
think
his
so.
bunnies has been talking. Holly, she's been on
You used the
podcasts and
name.
stuff. Yeah, I know, dude. I follow that show,
Oh.
people. But Holly's been on a bunch of podcasts and has kind of been putting a lot of stuff out there because she was the only Playgirl who didn't sign a non-disclosure contract. So she's been saying everything that happened behind the scenes
Interesting. Yeah.
in all those years. So that was kind of. Will you make sure I'm right? Is that the right person that I'm talking about? Yeah, her.
Holly Madison.
Yeah, Holly
That sounds
Madison. So
familiar.
they had a TV show that was behind the scenes of the Playgirls, and then she's been coming out on like all these podcasts and all these things. Like, she don't care anymore. She's telling everything that old man did.
Sick.
Yeah. So I'm glad it's not that.
It could be. I'm just kidding. No,
Collab
I actually
coming
thought
I
on
don't know
the
if my wife
logo.
would like that so much.
I know, right? On the logo, I was like, "Do we do like kind of like the sexy like bunny ears?" And I was like, "No, we are not shooting over here."
Do like a
So not-
crossover collab in like this summer or something like that. Change the logo for like some apparel,
Wrong production company.
some like
The wrong idea.
Maybe there
In
will be
Utah.
some merch out that will have some bunny ears on it, but that's as far as we're taking it. But no, Happy Rabbit Productions just seemed like a great name. People jumped on it, and people in that realm that I told it to were like, "Yo, that's cool," and so it worked. I mean, you guys are here, so
Yeah. One thing I'd like to definitely know about you is what age did you personally get into film yourself, and what drug you into this world?
actually, holy crap, full circle.
That's a good question.
You were there.
Mm-hmm.
So my sister is a artist, YouTuber, etc., and she was filming a YouTube video. How many years ago was that?
Gosh,
Like
dang.
15?
No, it was a long time ago, dude.
It was close to 15 years ago.
It was probably 17.
And Charles was actually shooting it with another gentleman, Brent Geisler, who's like a second dad to me and has given me so many opportunities in film. And Charles and Brent were actually shooting the music video for my sister, in which Brent convinced my dad. I don't know if it was a GoPro or like a little flip camera. It was like one of those first little like mini cameras that like kids could get. And he convinced my dad to get me one while we were kind of shooting the music video to do like BTS and whatnot. And I'm over here like watching Charles and Brent like shoot this thing, just like it was so sweet. And
And
like,
Scooter at the time was this punk ass little kid.
oh, I'm little. I'm like 5 years
Running
old.
around,
like,
yeah.
7 years old, like running around. And we actually have a photo. Pull that photo up of Charles sitting on my sister's bed. I'll send it to you. But yeah, pull that photo up of Charles sitting on the bed right here. Yeah, that's how long ago it was.
I look like a baby.
You
but-
were a baby, dude. That was like you were Tyson's age probably at that shit, maybe younger. So
I wasn't. I was like 25.
which is close to Tyson's age. But I got a little camera, and then like tech decks, like the little
Oh, yeah.
fingerboards. I used to play with those nonstop, and so I started making skate edits, and they actually got picked up. Like people on YouTube, like before YouTube was even YouTube, they started getting some attraction, and I was like, okay, like I love this. And then me and my friends were making short films in the backyard using firecrackers and Gatorade caps and like making little like action clips and stuff. And I just fell in love with this whole world. Like the fact that you can just create and do whatever you want and like create a new reality for people. I was like, dog, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And yeah,
That's awesome, man. That's it's been a long time for you, it seems like, and
fast forward 17 years later, Charles and I are running a company and film together. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What got you started in film, Charles?
That's a long story.
I want to hear it.
But, okay,
I'm
here
here to
we go.
listen.
Once upon a time, there was this kid that went to school to be a nurse. And
Shout out to the nurses.
yeah. And anyways, so I went to school, got a degree in biology, and then went to nursing school here in Salt Lake City at Westminster. Ended up not liking it, and
Shout out Westminster.
and then dropped out. Also, it's like hella expensive to go to school there. I don't know if you-
Westminster's
if
like
you
Shout
guys
out
know
to
that.
dropping
40,
out.
50 grand
Yeah.
a year.
When I
It's like
was-
20, 25 a semester.
if
Yeah.
you guys don't know
So,
about
like-
Westminster, it literally looks like a Hogwarts.
It does.
It's like a
dope.
mini Harvard in Utah.
Yeah.
Utah's version of a mini.
It was like 35
Of
grand a
Ivy
semester,
League.
dude.
Yeah, dude. I had a
It's
cousin.
Ivy League prices.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah,
cousin come from out of school, and they were paying almost 60 for a full year. They were
Yeah.
paying like a little under 30 a semester. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous,
It's
and that didn't
insane.
count books. Like that.
Buy
that's
me
just
a
tuition,
trailer
right?
and park me outside. I don't need to go to college. I'm buying a house.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to
exactly.
high school? Did you go to high school here too? You grew up here?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
Springville.
Springville. Okay.
Red Devil.
Red Devil.
So in the meantime, like to pay for it, because that was hella expensive, I started working for Intermountain Healthcare, and was paying for school doing that. And anyways, so I dropped out of Westminster and then started school up at UVU, trying to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And was just kind of like bumming around taking classes. I was also like a competitive rock climber at the time, and so that's kind of where my focus was, really. Like I wanted to climb and not work so much.
Valid.
Like I don't know if my parents appreciated that so
Everyone
much at
comes
the
to
time,
Utah
but
to either ski and go to school or rock climb and hike and go to school. They just come here
Yeah.
to do other activities and
Exactly.
then just go to school here, I
Do
guess, too.
activities
Granola
and then work on
activities.
the side.
Yeah.
In Utah.
And so I was just kind of bumming around and being a rock climbing bum. And anyways, I had a buddy that was taking classes at UVU as well. And he was like, hey, take this intro to film class, which wasn't like a stretch for me at the time because we made like stupid films growing up. Like we had cops calling us like a bunch of times for like making movies and like shooting guns at, when you're not supposed to and stuff like that. Good times.
He also lived in an area where you could get away with whatever you wanted.
Yeah. It's like, the
it was like
middle of nowhere.
It was the middle of nowhere when you were growing up.
Well, it was
Yeah.
like 20 years ago, even when my family moved out to like Riverton, there was nothing out here.
There's
It's
nothing.
Like, yeah, it was.
Where
You had
grew
10
up
miles
is
to the
where
Yokers.
my dad
Yeah.
said him and his friends would ride dirt bikes with guns on their backs to just like go hunt and do whatever.
10
out
miles to
there.
the face of the mountain.
Yeah.
like-
It was
Literally.
there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's crazy how much it's expanded the last
Right?
20 years. Like,
Dude, it's so
as we've
crazy.
grown up in your adult life and your
Yeah.
career, like last 10, 15
It's
years,
insane. But I feel like that's everywhere. Like everywhere is just like boom.
booming. Yeah.
Yeah. So I took this intro to film class at UVU and I was like, and I remember like sitting in this class and the teacher, I'm not going to say who it was like, oh yeah, you can totally make money like making movies and stuff. And I was like, oh shit. Like I can
can?
do this and like make money. That's what I want to do. And so like because I already had a degree, it only took me 2 years to finish the core classes at UVU. So I have 2 degrees. I have a degree in biology and then I have a degree in film.
This man is educated.
Yeah.
Were you in? I know I've asked you before. Were you in the same group
just
with
gonna
like
say random
Keone
shit.
and Trevor
Educated.
McDonald and that
No.
whole group of operators? They look.
No, bro.
They.
I'm old.
You're not that old. You're not that, and they're not that much younger than you, are they?
I don't know.
Okay, you weren't with the.
I'm with like Prusso.
Oh, that's right.
and,
That's Jameson too, right? Didn't Jameson go with Prusso? I thought at UVU.
Maybe. So Jeremy Prusso was actually 3 years. Class 3 years.
Shout out
under
Jeremy
me.
Prusso. They just
Okay.
released a
Prusso's
movie
older than me
at
because he was like
Sundance.
a
Come
member.
after.
Uh,
Yeah, but he started after.
Charles.
So like Stelios.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was that movie that Jeremy just put out? It was at Sundance, right?
Yeah, it's Aliens.
That-
Shoot, I did.
Oh,
Steady
aliens
Cam
just
for
took
it.
my parents or something.
Yeah,
You
like
worked
that?
on it?
Yeah, aliens abducted
Why
my
didn't
parents.
you go to the preview?
I wasn't invited, yo.
Jeremy, let's talk about that.
Dude,
Prusso.
Invite your steady up.
Little beard.
Come on, guy. But shout out Jeremy, the crew, a lot of people on that set that we're friends with and work a lot with. They had a
Yeah.
movie in Sundance.
Yeah.
So that's
Parents abducted my aliens, and now I feel kind of left out.
Er,
Aliens abducted my
parents.
parents.
Abducted the aliens.
I was like putting that all together. That's a cool
We should
title.
do that
though.
one.
Yeah,
No.
right.
Yeah.
We'll call Jeremy. Be like, hey, are you okay with this? I think we're gonna rewrite your script a little. and
Volume
shoot
2.
this.
But congrats, guys. That's
Yeah.
huge. That's awesome.
I'm super
like,
stoked for Jake and for Jeremy. That's
Well, and
awesome.
congrats to you, dude.
Yeah. I just point a camera. So, anyways, went to film school, graduated, and then it's funny. So we have like the film community in Utah, especially back then, was really small, and we had a lot of stuff going on. Like we would film "Touched by an Angel." If you guys have ever heard of that stuff, like super old now.
Is that the
And
baseball movie?
yep. And
I like that movie.
no, it was not that baseball movie. It
Oh,
was a TV series.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I was like, damn, I'm good. Never mind. Make me look like an idiot out here, Charles. Come on.
um, and then now I can't remember what I was talking about.
It doesn't matter 'cause I look like an idiot now. I'm all blushing. My face is red.
Was another. Well, anyways, there was a couple TV series that were going that like kind of sucked up all the community in Utah, and then like the rest of us that were trying to get in would like try to scrape. It's really hard to get in the film industry wherever you are. And so when I was in the middle of school, we had one of the cinematographers reach out to the school. It was T.C. Christensen, who films like a ton of stuff here in Utah, mostly faith-based things. But he was doing this little rat shoot. He called it at the time with the gaffer Rhett Fernston, who I worked with for years after that. But so they reached out to the university to get students to come work on the show that they were doing. And so the university sent over their top kids, which was like 4 of us at the time that like actually cared.
That like want to make a career
what
out
year
of it.
Yeah.
was this
Just
for
a
UVU?
easy
How long
credit.
ago was this?
2005.
That's something to say how much the industry has grown the last
Yeah.
10, 15 years too.
Oh,
Because
it's
like
insane.
Oh, in Utah?
the program
Oh,
that UVU has, the program that BYU has, like they are like top notch programs at this point now. And
Yeah.
It's only been a decade, a little over a
Yeah.
decade. It's not even that long.
Right?
That's
It's
impressive.
crazy.
Didn't
And,
we
yeah.
just get voted as like the #1 state to work in film
Yeah.
or something?
Well,
which
we've-
is kind of crazy
To live
me,
and
to
work.
live and work in here.
Yeah.
And we've always kind of joked around because Atlanta and other states have a lot more work than Utah. But the fact that we were voted the best state to work in film is pretty cool. Must
It's
say
dope.
I was gonna
something.
say on those dumb lists, Salt Lake City and Utah is always listed 4th on like best places or like where movies are happening, good places to go live and work for film and it's only because of those laws, the incentive laws
Yeah.
that were different. But we've always been like for a while we've been right behind New York, Atlanta, LA on those lists of like really good places where it's cheap
Yeah.
to film. You can find good crews. You don't have to pay
Lifestyle
arm and
here
leg.
is good.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to live in Utah.
and it's
you
still
know?
cheaper to film here
Yeah.
generally than it is if you go to
Way
New
cheaper.
York, LA, Atlanta, like
Yeah.
Especially for a company on our level, it's so hard to get started in a place like LA or anywhere where your overhead costs just to get anything shot is so much money.
Yeah.
So much money.
So we went over to that shoot, and I was like, "Yeah, this is what I want to do." And then that shoot led me to meet a couple people that I hit up, and I was like, "Hey, if you need homies on another movie, like let me know." And that's kind of how it works with like film is all about like networking and getting to know people and like just making yourself available when stuff comes up. And so that movie led to another movie, and then like school started back up, and I was like, and I was getting offers to work on like big movies now, like all the like bigger stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like, suck. Do I like, cause I'm old school, right? Like you have to have a degree in order to like survive in the world was my generation. And so I was like, I'm going to go back to school. And so I turned all these movies down and all this work, and I finished my degree, which was funny because then when I finished and graduated, I was like, crap, I have to start all over making those connections again, you know? And so anyways, but it worked out. And I started out as G&E, which is Grip and Electric. If you don't know that, on-set lighting. And I did that, as my main job. And then I was always shooting stuff, like trying to be a cinematographer on
Do you
the
have any
side.
family in film, or are you the first to start?
Nope, first one.
Damn.
That's
Dude,
cool.
I'm a military family.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
My dad is Air Force, retired.
So
colonel.
you were creating the new path for the family.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Are you like the black sheep? Because for me, my whole family is military as well. My stepbrother's serving right now. And then there's Scooter who comes in who has blue hair, tattoos, and piercings. And I'm like, let's shoot some stuff. And everyone's like, who's this kid?
yeah,
Is that
except
kind of you?
I had dreads and
No, you didn't. Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see a photo of that. That's amazing.
we'll throw
Charles with the long
dread
hair.
picture
Yeah,
up
Can
there.
we
But
bring up a
yeah,
picture
I
of
had
Charles with
I
dreads?
had really long hair.
I
and
feel like
then
most
dreads.
if you grew up in Utah, at some point in your life, if you're a male, you had long hair. Every kid that grew up in
have
Utah
to.
has grown out their hair at
You're
You're
some
not
point.
going through a ski season without looking like a ski wolf. Let's be honest.
It's true.
Yeah, from your generation to our generation, and the one that's kind of coming up below us, it's definitely moving from like you need that piece of paper, that degree to like work experience. It's like
You don't like
Like I
even the reality of it is even when I started, like you didn't need a degree.
didn't have to.
Like yeah, it kind of helped, like because you have the practical like.
I've been told a
side,
lot
but-
by like Stelios and guys of like that were kind of with you and going through school that era. They've all told like when I was first getting started, when I dropped out of school, got into film, they swore up and down, don't go back. Because I was thinking
Yeah.
about restarting at the U and going back for a film degree, and they're like, don't. Like if you're getting jobs, get the connections and work and like make a name for yourself.
I think for the film industry, it doesn't matter.
Oh, so they have
But I think
said-
there's multiple industries where it does. Because Mer and
For sure.
I were
For
talking
sure.
about this.
Like-
There is like a line in the sand nowadays where there's self-driven degrees and then there's actual degrees if you're working in the medical field.
Yeah,
or,
like, I'm
a
not gonna go to a
specific
doctor
niche.
that
like
doesn't have a
nursing,
degree.
like
Yeah.
you kind of need to know what you're doing.
Shout out to my fiance. She's a nurse at Primary Children's Hospital. But
Yeah.
she's going through her new program right now. And
PA school.
PA school, shout out. She wants to deliver babies. That's crazy. She's going to be a little doctor. But yeah, we were looking into schooling. And it really only makes sense if you're in a niche that requires a degree that you need that type of schooling on. But as far as like film goes, buy camera, get out there.
Hey, it's an art.
shoot.
It's an art form.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to go to art school and get a degree in art to
Yep.
make a painting.
I've been
If
told
I'm
that-
hiring someone to come on set with us, I'm looking at their Instagram, their portfolio, whatever they send me, and I'm looking at their work of stuff they've already shot.
Yeah,
I don't care if you have a degree. Anyone can sit through.
Says,
a
I've
class. Like,
never
I wanna
sent-
know what you can do.
exactly.
I've never sent anyone I keep my IMDb updated. I keep my credits list.
Right.
I've never had one production ask me for a credit list, IMDb, Utah Film Commission, because they go from word
They
of
don't
mouth.
care.
They get calls, hey, do you know any good
Yeah.
operators, camera ACs?
Word
And then they
of
call their
mouth,
friend, hey, I
that's
got told
huge.
about this
Yeah.
kid. Do you know him? Like
And now it's IMDb, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
and
your IMDb needs to be up to date.
and granted, like Stelios and those guys, they have told like they say it was worth it because it's for the network and the connections they made, not for
Yeah.
the schooling. Because like I mean, Keone and Trevor and Stelios and all those guys, they still pass work back and forth to each other 10 years down the road, and so like they've told me that it was a benefit.
Like, and it's
because of-
different. It's different too if you're like, if like I went the long hard way to becoming a cinematographer. Like if you want to go like the expedited fast way, then like yeah, do 4 years of your bachelor's degree and then go to freaking get your
cinematographers.
your master's.
Oh, your math.
Get your master's degree and go to a film school in LA, you know.
Like AFI or
Go
something
to,
like that.
go to AFI, go to Chapman, go wherever, and get your master's degree because they like set you up with other people for those connections, and then all of a sudden you're because you sit in a class with freaking Spielberg,
Yeah.
comes and teaches a class, and you get to go talk to him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie
You
though.
get to go to dinner with people that are making movies.
Yeah.
They're talking
Yeah.
to you throughout the course. They're trusting you. You're beginning a friendship, a relationship.
Yep.
And people want to hire their friends. People want to hire people that are fun to work with.
Exactly.
So like networking is everything.
No hate to AFI, but I've met like a couple people that have gone to AFI in LA, and like the amount of money that it costs to go there.
yeah.
And the same, like they've taught, there was one like younger girl that was on my first camera job that was a DP. She was DPing like an indie type film, and she was like a recent AFI graduate, and she moved to like SDSU to go something else for film there. It's like the curriculum, other than like you're gonna be able to, like a Steven Spielberg might come into an AFI and speak to you, but she's like
Right.
the curriculum and the material itself that you're going over and learning, it's not any like different. It's just, again, it's just for the connections and network. And so I've
Right.
heard lots of mixed feelings about schools like AFI that you're paying $80,000, $100,000 a year to go to do
Yeah.
that same thing. Again, that's just where it's same along the line of people just telling me like, don't just go work and build your network
Yeah.
and don't.
And it all just depends on what you want to do. Like
It's situational based in my opinion. It's do you have the money to go to school? Do you have the opportunities to go to school?
Yeah.
And like look at that. For me and where I was at, I didn't have an opportunity at that time to go to school for film, where it made more sense for me to take an internship and move to LA and work for a guy already in film. Where I found out a lot of people after they're graduating, they're then getting internships and jumping on that kind of train. So maybe I made the right decision and jumped on a little early, but you're taking a risk because not a lot of people did that before me, and it was all about going to school. So don't
Yeah.
make the wrong decision.
If someone
I guess.
offers you an
Yeah.
internship, take it. I know it's like hard, but from basically all of my experience, Scooter's experience, and a ton of other people I know, they've gotten to where they are by working for free, learning what they can for free, instead of having to go and pay all this money to school. Come work with these dudes or reach out to someone or anybody, and just start. As long as you can start doing it, you're good. Take the apprenticeship, learn for 4 to 6 months on something for free, dedicate your time into it, and just with that knowledge and influences from the people you're learning from, you're gonna learn almost as much as you would learn in school.
So what Alex is saying is, don't be lazy, people. Go to work.
Get the fuck up.
Put some
first-
work in.
The first 3 movies that I worked on were for free.
Yep.
Boy, I lived.
3
Shout
movies.
out to Sawyer Hartman, big YouTuber. He's actually my brother-in-law. Before they got engaged and married and whatnot, I was living out in LA. I worked for him for 2 years for free, learning anything I could, and I am grateful for it. Thank you, Sawyer. What I'm saying, guys, is
He was
don't.
taking advantage of you. I'm just kidding.
2 years.
Let's just say though, here's the thing, and if I'm gonna be completely honest, yeah, it was 2 years or a year and a half, 2 years. It was a lot of freaking work, but guys, stuff like this and the connections you're given isn't just handed out overnight. We're talking years of work, years of connections, years of experience that people put in. So if you're given an opportunity like that in film, take it.
Yeah.
Like don't
It's
be,
worth it.
Like don't be dumb. Meet the connections, meet the people, like put in the time. Then for your career path and like the years down the road, you're going to have those relationships forever. And if there's anything I can tell you, you may be working for somebody on one film and they may be hiring you for the next.
Yeah.
So don't ever look
There's-
at anyone under you.
Mhm.
There is a reason why there's the hustle, Yeah.
Yeah.
because the people that like hustle and put in the work and are hungry for it are the people that are successful versus people that kind of half-ass it and don't try as hard,
Or feel like they
they're not the
deserve
ones-
it or
Yeah, exactly.
know?
Like
Yeah.
they're not the ones that are like doing what we're doing. Just kidding.
so get after it, people. No, I'm gonna throw Evan under the bus a little bit. Evan, how'd you get started in film? Where's your? I know you have some cousins in film and whatnot, but like, where was your kind of introduction? What led you down this path?
Yeah, I have several extended family in film, couple aunts, uncles, cousins, cousin-in-laws that all probably, hopefully at some point we'll get those boys on. But like
Oh yeah,
Ethan and Grant, cousin and cousin-in-law, me and Scooter and Charles have all worked with several times on. They do the same thing. Me and Scooter do their ACs and moving to operators. But I was looking on KSL, Facebook, and then there's the one like production assistant site that you can like go. It's like how they get production assistants for like Marvel movies. It's like they'll like fly them out to Atlanta. It's like
oh,
I can't remember. I have the site pinned. I'll have to look at it. But
Evan's gonna plug you guys up.
I looked on there for a long time for PA jobs and then was like searching their Craigslist, Facebook, KSL, and found like a weird Craigslist posting for a director's assistant on Craigslist for an indie movie. And I was like, let's try it. And I went out there and it was just like a really small indie LA crew that had come out. They rented an Airbnb in Provo for like 2 months for like prep work.
They were coming here.
Yeah, and so I went out there and I prepped with them for like 4 weeks for the movie, and then we were starting on a Monday or Tuesday, and Saturday hit, and their DP.
Wait, did you say prep for 4 weeks?
Yeah, I could tell a million horror stories about this. It was a horrendous movie, but I was like her assistant, the director's assistant, like basically like I was helping their main actor through like fittings at the Airbnb because they flew out. It was like really low budget. Like I had like helped the director with fittings and scheduling and all this just random office crap for like the whole month before. And then the 2 days before we started shooting on the Saturday, the DP, Darren, I'll have to look him up. It's Darren. He's another really cool DP out of LA. He dropped out, said he couldn't do it, took his ACs with him. And so they had to find a DP and an AC like 2 days before. So they found Melise Riahi and her first AC, some French dude, Antoine something. He's a really good polar. But they flew them out Sunday night before we started shooting. They read the script and then they couldn't find a second. So they were like, do you have any experience in camera? Do you want a second AC in slate? And I lied and was like, yeah, I've like done some stuff in film school.
Fake it
And
till you
yeah,
make it.
literally I lied. I was
Fake it,
like,
people.
I've done some stuff in film school.
It
I've
works.
helped out. And they were
Every
like,
job I've
okay.
gotten, I said I could do it. Didn't have any clue how
That's
to do
the
it.
job that got me into camera, because then after that,
Baptism by fire, baby.
I used that as leverage, because my second job was actually Cake Wars with Curtis Burr, who is like,
How long ago?
That was right before COVID, so like end of 2019.
I was like, yeah, because that came, that wasn't that far
end
away.
of 19, early 2020. And so I used that as leverage with
23. It's like
my
years ago.
cousin-in-law Grant and Ethan were doing Cake Wars, and Curtis Burr, who's like another legend here. He's a career second AC who's been doing it for like
Long time.
fucking 5 decades.
Shout out Curtis.
Yeah.
Love
OG.
Curtis. He does all of the High School Musical stuff, all the Disney stuff,
A lot of the
Apple,
Union stuff. That
Union
comes through,
Apple
yeah.
stuff. And I use that as leverage. And I had
Curtis and Tolly actually taught me how to be an AC.
I was gonna say those
Shout
are some legends here. They've been in the industry for a long time. They brought me on as Cake Wars as like their camera PA, and then it just kind of like you're saying how you kind of get to that next job leads to the next job. People talk about you, pass your. It literally was that, and so I did that. Then the Real Housewives of Salt Lake,
Ladies,
and
Real
just kept
Housewives.
literally job
He
to job
worked
to
on it.
job, and
Yeah, that's how it goes. You know, you network on
Yeah,
one movie, and then
now-
they take you to the next one, and then you hopefully keep going.
But just saying on that note, learn as much as you can at home and then go fake it till you make it. Like I learned enough that I was comfortable saying that I could do it and then just go through the baptism by fire. And
Well, nowadays
into
too, you have like endless resources online. You know, like
You go
freaking
take
YouTube videos, podcasts like this, which I'm
classes.
sure we'll talk about this
Which
stuff
is kind of funny
eventually.
though. When I was first getting into ACing, that was kind of how I learned. I say I have a YouTube degree, but jumped on YouTube. I jumped on the internet, and at the time, at least this was 5 years ago, I couldn't find much out there that was like, this is an AC kit. Go get a bag or get a Pelican and put like this kind of stuff in it. Well, ACs, when you had film cameras, ACs jobs were much different. Now, like, what you're doing is way different. You have a monitor, there's wireless feeds, it's different. So your kit's different. So I couldn't find anything. Nowadays, you are completely right. Listen to a podcast like this. Tyson was getting on a job with us. He didn't really know what to do. I gave him like a few videos and a few podcasts. I was like, listen to this. If there's a word they say that you don't know, Google it. And he came to set and he used my kit, kind of same thing, and he put the pieces together. So the resources are out there, and if you want to get on set, I think you could get on
It
set.
doesn't matter like who, or it doesn't matter how you get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
So
if
whether
you're
that's
good,
through
you'll
Facebook
continue to work.
or Craigslist or going to school.
How I got
like-
into it was I didn't know anybody at all. I've done, like they said, I mess around at home with my own camera. You know, I have a GoPro. I think I'm having fun doing film, so it's something fun to do. I didn't know where to turn. I don't know any producers. I don't even know how to get on to be an assistant. You know what I mean? For someone like me, and like, I'm a pretty savvy person. I've looked that stuff up. Makes no sense to like an average person. What do these words mean? Like you said, I'm like, you look at that, you exit out and go do something else essentially. So it's really overwhelming. So for me, I decided to go a separate route, and I saw that that Scooter here was doing film stuff. He was posting a lot of stuff on Instagram and everything. So I didn't necessarily reach out to him expecting it to be where we are today as partners, and we're a whole team now, but I just was reaching out to him to see if he had any advice. Advice is kind of where I figured I could start. Where do I start? Do you have someone I could talk to? Do you have any advice? I think I asked him, do you have advice on where I could learn film, like what school I should go to? And he literally was like, screw that. Don't go to film school. He's like, show up at this place on this date at this time.
I was like, I think that's exactly what happened. Well, you were hitting me up a lot, and I was getting thrown like left and right in all these different directions, and I didn't really know exactly like, I don't know. I just had so much going on. Charles and I were trying to get this going, and it just felt like I was completely scrambled brain. If they've made it this far, they're not gonna worry about one light going out.
they do. We don't want them.
You're still listening to us.
Get the
Thank
Yeah. No, but we were just kind of talking. Alex was saying how much, like, he had no place to go. He didn't really know where to turn. It all just kind of seemed it was going right over his head, and it seemed overwhelming. And one thing that I can definitely vouch for is you were hitting me up a lot. Like, you were throwing messages left and right, and I was so busy. Charles and I were filming a movie, I think, at the time, and I was trying to get Charles on board with this idea, and like, I just felt way overwhelmed. And you actually messaged me the morning of us shooting a music video. We didn't have enough people for the music video, and you're like, hey, man, should I go to film school? Like, I really want to do like stuff in film. I see everything you guys are shooting. I think I messaged you. I was like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
Come to this set right now and just learn and like hang out with the crew. And you showed up that day. You were all about it. It was like freezing cold, snowing sideways. I think we just got Ziggy, and
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
was
we
like
had him babysit
crazy.
the dog half the
So I was like,
time.
will you, I
did have
literally,
a PA job.
yeah. I was like, will you babysit the dog while I go fly this drone? Ended up crashing the drone. It was a thing. But it was great, and you came out and you learned and you met people. And here's the thing: is I knew you didn't know a lot about film, but I saw how hard you worked and you listened, and you were just a team player.
Hustle.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, that goes 10 times, dude. This stuff can be taught, but like that can't be taught. So, fuck it, get to work, people.
Yeah, that's kind of how it happened. Is you kind of gotta annoy people sometimes. You know what I mean? You
But
message
that's a
them
good
one time.
thing, dude. Like that wasn't bad. The fact that you
Yeah.
kept hitting me up, I was stoked, dude. I was like, he wants it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's something to say, like he didn't have the extended family in film like I did. He didn't even have the websites that I was using like I did. He was just finding people on Instagram that were
Just
had a
DMing,
follow-
yeah.
and just be like, hey, let me come help you. Like
And that kind of
kinda
goes to any industry. Yeah, you could
It's like
reference
that.
that from film to like wanting to get into motorcycles to rock climbing.
just
like,
make a friend, find a way in,
Yeah.
like talk to people.
Yeah, just find the people, and it kind of just snowballs from there. If you get one yes, you're golden. You know, I think I messaged him 4 or 5 times before, and like he told me a date of when to be there, and I messaged him, "What do I need this? What should I bring? Like, is there anything I should be
Oh,
prepared
I don't
for?"
even think I responded.
Nothing,
yet.
dude. I was like, bro, like, is he just ghosting me? Like, oh, no, f- it, you know, I'll try again later. And then I was just like, I'm just gonna f- this. I'm
like,
just gonna keep messaging this kid.
Keep
like,
trying. You can't
I was
get
so stoked too.
He's either gonna
dude.
tell me off, or he's gonna give me a date and an address of where to show up. You know, and that's
Date
how it
and
is. If you
address.
take the first no, or if you take someone not replying as a no, you're not gonna get anywhere.
I was gonna say, either keep messaging or just move on. I was like, the amount of times that when I was looking on those sites getting PA jobs that I didn't get a job or got told no, like we're talking 1 to 50, like were the ones that I'd get yes, and then
Some
the
of the-
ones were like family, like Terry would be like, oh, I can come help you or you can come PA for me on this Radiant commercial. Like I got told no left and right for PA jobs and just kept trying. Like
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. All right, well, let's wrap this thing up. Guys, this podcast is just an open floor for us to come in here and talk about everything. We're going to have some really cool guests on this show.
Steven
from-
Spielberg next week, dude.
From actors we work with to DP directors, some really cool faces, a lot that you guys will recognize, maybe some new ones, and people you will then follow.
Word.
It'd be awesome.
Word.
Morgan Freeman did get back to me. Should be in next Tuesday. So
Like,
See,
oh, yeah,
you got
great
connections.
line.
What's
But-
up?
Quentin emailed us back.
All right, we out. Peace.